Hey everybody, it's Eric the Horror Man, and welcome to day 16 for my 31 Days of Horror. This movie is from 1985 and it was put out by Scream Factory, and I'm so glad that this movie finally came out on Blu-ray, because this is like one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time. And I had this movie on DVD for quite some time, and I was hoping it would get a Blu-ray release, and thanks to Scream Factory, it did. And it is from a Stephen King movie, from one of his books, and that's Silver Bullet. This movie is a classic werewolf movie. This is definitely one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time, because it is from Stephen King's book he did called Cycle of the Werewolf. This movie stars Gary Busey, Corey Haim, and Everett McGill. And this movie is about where a 13-year-old boy in a wheelchair helps his sister and his uncle battle a werewolf in their small town of Tucker's Mill. And this movie is just a very fun werewolf movie. I thought Gary Busey did a great job in this movie, and I thought Corey Haim did a good job of making it look like he was in a wheelchair without using his legs. So this movie is just definitely one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time, and it will be. And this is also like one of my favorite Stephen King movies as well. So Silver Bullet is pretty good. I mean, there's some good blood in this movie. Where you see like some of the scratch marks that the werewolf leaves on their victim. And I thought some of the lines that Gary Busey had in this movie were pretty funny, like where he says, "Holy jumped up Jesus, bald-headed Palomino." I thought that line was pretty good. And this movie is pretty much, like I said, 13-year-old boy in a wheelchair helps his uncle and his sister battle a werewolf. But it turns out that the person that is a werewolf is trying to get to the 13-year-old boy in that wheelchair because he doesn't want people to know his true identity. So he's trying to get to the 13-year-old boy to kill him before he could end up telling people over who the actual werewolf really is. So, Silver Bullet, very, very fun werewolf movie. Definitely one of my favorites of all time. The music to the film was pretty good. I downloaded a soundtrack on my phone, and I definitely enjoyed the final part of the music with the werewolf battling Gary Busey and Corey Haim in the house. And I thought Gary Busey put up a pretty good fight against the werewolf. So, I mean, when a lot of people went to go see this movie, a lot of people thought Gary Busey might have been a werewolf because he's like a wild, crazy kind of guy. Because he's sort of like that. But this movie is just so much fun. And it's definitely a classic werewolf movie, and it's definitely one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time. So with that being said, I'm going to have to give this a 8.5 out of 10, because this movie is just so much fun to watch, and it's just a complete fun movie to enjoy if you're a fan of werewolf movies. So Silver Bullet from Stephen King, I definitely recommend checking this out. Alright guys, so that's my review for my 31 Days of Horror on day 16. Please let me know in the comments if you've seen this movie. I'd like to hear your thoughts if you like this werewolf movie or if it's one of your favorites. Also, like and subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more videos on my 31 Days of Horror. Later.